if you look at the reason, and I want to give credit where credit is due. Let me give some credit to the Boston Globe because they had a fascinating article today in the ground game by James Pendell. He's on Twitter. Follow him on Twitter. But they gave 5 reasons why Donald Trump could not be stopped by the GOP. The actual title is 5 Reasons the Never Trump Movement Crashed and Burned. And I'm sharing this. I'm sharing this for 2 reasons. One, our nominee does not need to be Hillary Clinton, even though it seems almost as though inevitably it's going to be Hillary Clinton because of how much the DNC has banked and bet on Hillary Clinton. So if they can't at least hear that, then they need to hear why the Never Trump movement didn't work so that maybe they can wake up, right? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I think about a inauguration speech by Donald Trump and I get depressed. I get a little bit like, okay, you know, shit's going to go sideways in America. Now, let's be honest with you. If Donald Trump becomes president, my industry is going to blow the hell up. So I could be selfish and be like, hey, go Donald Trump, go, because there's nothing better than being in the political opposition when you're doing media, right? There's nothing better than that. And then can you imagine having 4 years of Donald Trump and being able to talk about him every single day, all the ridiculous things that he's going to do? So for media, for left-leaning media, it will be a field day. For content, a field day. For revenue streams, they'll be looking for liberal hosts. They'll be hiring liberal hosts by the pound, by the dozen. So I could just be, I could play the game of I don't have a horse in this race, knowing full and damn well that I probably will not be hurt by Donald Trump. In fact, I probably will be helped by Donald Trump because our industry would blow the fuck up. But I can't do that. And the reason I can't do that is because, one, when I see a vapid or vapid, depending on who you're asking, a vapid argument, and you realize that they are undermining themselves right before your eyes, you want to, it's like I want to run to them and say, please, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, please, would you guys wake the hell up? Because you are not equipped to go up against Donald Trump with this candidate that you are trying to ordain, with this strategy that she's already transmitted. You guys are not ready, and it's going to be President Donald Trump if you don't get ready. That's appealing to my better angels. The cynical angels in me, well, I guess they wouldn't be angels, but the cynical side of me would just sit back and watch this shit crash and burn, right? I'm be honest with you, and I'm not sure. Some Bernie supporters, some Bernie or busters, some people who are never Hillary, they would rather sit back and watch this shit burn. I can't. I'm going to have to give commentary where I see commentary is due, and the fact of the matter is their strategy is going to fail against Donald Trump because everyone knows Donald Trump is the gutter, right? Everyone knows that. Everyone who thinks positively of Donald Trump will never have their opinion changed by this strategy. And everyone who thinks negatively of Donald Trump, how much more negatively can you view him, right? You already think he's the shit. He's like not the shit, but shit. So you can't make him worse. Oh, but Hillary Clinton, all right, let's talk about it like this before I even get to this article. Let's talk about it like this before I even get to this article. And I pulled out my headphones. Hang on a second, folks. Plug these headphones back in. Damn beats. Okay. You want to make Donald Trump look bad. I'm sorry, folks, I've got a lot of other stuff to talk about. I don't know if I'm even going to get to it because this has been bothering me all damn day. You want to talk about Donald Trump and how horrible he is and how racist he is, right? What is Hillary Clinton going to say to Donald Trump when he gets into a general election debate and he flips on everything racist he's ever said? And he gets on stage and apologizes for some of the racist things he said and for some of the behaviors that have been demonstrated at his campaign. Because I'm going to be honest with you, that is the strategy to win. And you should go into this fully expecting that that's exactly what Donald Trump is going to do. If Donald Trump does that, Hillary Clinton has zero defense against it. She can't all of a sudden say, oh, well, last month you were just calling Mexicans rapists. after he has already apologized and said, you know what, I misspoke. You know what, I said it wrong. I didn't, I'm not a politician. I don't really know how to say things right. And that clearly came out wrong. And so I want to apologize to Mexicans all across Mexico and all of the immigrants in the United States. What is she going to do? She can't pin him down and say, no, this is what you said last month, because no one can pin her down. Who's able to pin Hillary Clinton down to some of the ridiculous things that she said that she has to later go back, flip-flop on, and say, I misspoke? You cannot hold Donald Trump to anything he said, because you can't hold Hillary Clinton to anything she said. It becomes a wash. What is she going to do when he starts acting more presidential? He's gotten rid of all of the buffoons on the right. He has no more reason to act like an ass clown. So what is Hillary Clinton going to do when he actually starts acting presidential? What is she going to do when he, and the reason I'm saying Hillary is because we're doing a game of comparisons of two of the least popular people. If it was Bernie versus Trump, it would not be a competition. It couldn't be a competition because Bernie Sanders has something that neither Hillary Clinton nor Donald Trump has. Bernie Sanders has 30 years of consistency. You can't buy that. You can't misspeak your way out of that. You can't even compare that. The only thing that Donald Trump has against Bernie Sanders is he's a communist. If you want to see, and I'm gonna shift gears and talk about something else, because I don't know if this intervention is even worthwhile, right? But if you want to see how Hillary Clinton's identity politics game will work against Donald Trump, look at Mitt Romney's communist, socialist, Maoist, Leninist, fascist campaign against Barack Obama in 2012. It did not work. Why did that no longer work? Because they overplayed it between 2008 and 2012. That same exact paradigm, that same exact cause and effect. The cause is you overplayed your political hand. The effect is it has no more efficacy. It cannot hurt a person anymore. Cause, you overplayed the Red Scare. Effect, we're talking about communism. We're talking about socialism. We're talking about it more now than we ever did before. We're openly identifying as democratic socialists. We're openly advocating for the redistribution of wealth. That's the effect. The cause was they ran their mouth and talked about it every damn day thinking we were going to be scared of it. The effect is now, call me a socialist. Think about 2008. Everybody ran away from the word socialist. Likewise, the Democratic Party has overplayed the racial identity politics, the sexism identity politics, and this is where it's really horrible, right? This is a horrible thing because if you think about it, identity politics absolutely has its place. It is necessary in some circumstances. It is useful in a lot of circumstances, but once you overplay it, the same effect occurs. It no longer has the ability to do what it used to do. And so if you're banking the future of America on trying to convince enough people that Donald Trump is this raging sexist, then what the hell are you going to do when he's no longer that raging sexist? I'm seeing everyone going down in flames. I see America actually being led, the free world being led by Donald Trump, not because I think Hillary Clinton is the devil. I don't. Some of you do. I don't. I don't think Hillary Clinton is the worst person in the world. I think Hillary Clinton is the poster child for the establishment. I think Hillary Clinton is the poster child for the status quo. I think Hillary Clinton is the poster child for neoliberal economics and neoconservative foreign policies. That's what I think of Hillary Clinton. I don't think she's Hitler. I don't think she's Satan's spawn. I don't think she's going to be that much worse than Dick Cheney, to put it in perspective, right? So I'm not saying these things because I think Hillary Clinton is the worst person in the world. I'm saying these things because Hillary Clinton is not prepared for what Donald Trump is getting ready to unleash on her. You cannot think of the book Guns of August, where the entire premise of the book is how how we were fighting a war with the last generation's weapons, and how that war became entrenched and so many millions of people lost their lives unnecessarily because the strategies, the tactics, and the weaponry were all based on a paradigm that no longer was prevailing. Was no longer the that's it. It was no longer the prevailing paradigm. In that exact framework, the Democratic Party is running headlong into a fight with last year's politics against someone who has a brand new political paradigm. This is not the GOP that the Democrats are accustomed to running against. God, can I stop talking about Donald Trump? It's urgent. This is Donald Trump single-handedly did what the Democratic Party has not been able to do for almost 100 years, if not more. He single-handedly destroyed the Republican Party. And you want to tell me that you want to run in 2016 against a guy who is far from conventional. He is the quintessential example of being unconventional, with unconventional tactics, asymmetrical warfare, bringing guerrilla-style tactics, hitting you from Twitter. And you want to run a strategy from 2008? What the entire hell is wrong with you people? I'm trying to let it go. I'm trying to let it go. But I'm hoping that you guys are seeing what I'm saying. I'm personally not saying this because I'm personally not saying this because I don't like Hillary Clinton. Because from a Machiavellian political strategy perspective, I actually admire Hillary Clinton. She is a political beast. She's a political monster. She is a force. I'm not saying it because I dislike her. I could find reasons to like anybody. Like, there's some things about Donald Trump I actually like. I recognize game, right? I may not identify with them morally. I may not identify with them ideologically, but in terms of just a raw strategy perspective, like Donald Trump, there's some things that he did that I'm like in awe of because nobody else has been able to do it. In terms of Hillary Clinton, her strategy against Bernie Sanders, it has been fierce. But that strategy is not going to work on somebody who doesn't care if you call him a racist, who doesn't care if you call him a sexist, whose followers don't care if you call him a racist or sexist, who also your own following is not motivated to go and support Hillary Clinton. Let me pull up those stats. Listen, in across the board, we have seen a lower than normal turnout for Democrats because Democrats are not motivated in this election cycle. Last night in Indiana, hang on, not Indiana, this is overall so far. Overall so far, 3.2 more people have turned out to vote for the GOP than Democrats so far in this election cycle. That should be the headline that scares the bejesus out of everyone. 3.2 million more people have turned out in the primaries for the Republicans than for the Democrats. That doesn't translate to a one-to-one expectation for the general election, mind you. I give you that. But if you talk about the enthusiasm gap, that's the enthusiasm gap right there. There is a huge enthusiasm gap in the base of the Democratic Party, and you have their own version of a revolution going on the right. So they're motivated. They were motivated to, some of them were motivated to get Trump in. A lot of them were motivated to get Trump out. And now they're rallying everyone around it. Do you honestly think that you're going to have enough defectors from the Republican Party to put a dent in the percentages that are showing up for the Republican Party? Better yet, let me put it in a more precise context. Do you think that you're going to have enough defectors to overcome the enthusiasm that Republicans have to never allow Hillary Clinton to get the White House? That's the important question. And while everyone is celebrating and patting themselves on the back, I think they're missing the obvious, is that there's a depressed turnout on the Democratic side, and there's a motivated turnout on the Republican side. And if they manage to solidify and unify, rather, that energy on the Republican side around Donald Trump, more precisely against Hillary Clinton, that's a wrap.